Harinder. How are you today?
I'm fine, sir. What about you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for joining me for our testimonial call. I would love to probably, have you introduce yourself so that the listeners know your background and your profile before we get into a discussion about the whole application and the process of working with LilacBuds. So over to you, Harinder.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. I am Harinder Kumar. I have done my BTech from NIT Jalandhar in textile field. So since joining my work, I was pretty sure I have to change my field. So one major option was the MBA, and I decided the day I joined my job that I had to do an MBA. So doing MBA in one of the best school was my aspirations always. So after doing 1 year of work, I decided to get a course from some other sources and started preparing for GMAT. But the that course was not that much helpful to me. So I was struggling with the questions and concepts also. So one day, accidentally, LilacBuds contacted me, Mr. Ayush, which was previously worked with LilacBuds. He contacted me and he listened to my every problems that I was stuck in concepts or I was stuck in finding questions or sources. So he referred me classes called Mitul Gada. So I joined that classes, which helped me a lot in my GMAT process. And fortunately, I got a good score in my second attempt, and and had a huge part to play in it. So the main process of LilacBuds starts from here. The I find the process very helpful as I was not much self-aware that what I have done, what are the skills I have to show in my MBA profile. So LilacBuds just started from the scratch that write the stories, write your past experiences in terms of a story, and they given me a grid of several roadmaps, and I framed the different experiences in form of story. So from that experiences, the Mr. Priyash, head of, head of a LilacBuds team, had picked my essential skills which I have to show that I am apt for MBA. So which also helped me in framing my essays. And the beautiful thing about LilacBuds is that they gives me the opportunity to write about myself, that what I have done and what are my skills, and then they refrain it and redefine my sources according to my college selections and my course selections.
So,
So
Harinder, let's take a step back here to talk about that one step, right? Like you said, the GMAT was one part of where you started your journey with us, and Mitul was essential for getting the score that you were looking for. What was the final score that you had, just for everybody's input?
yeah, at my first attempt, I got only 505 and I was very disappointed. So after that, Mr. Ayush contacted me and given me insights from a LilacBuds, given me insights from what I have to do to strategize my GMAT focus and how to prepare it. As quant was never a problem for me because I was always a good in quant. So it's just about the strategizing and finding appropriate questions for that. So Ayush helped me in that, and Mitul. And after taking classes from Mitul, it was very much clear that I can got into a score because after 1 or 2 months, I my score exponentially increased. I got 505 in my first attempt, and in second mock, when I first given mock after 2 months of classes, I got about 575 or 575. And after giving 3 months to that preparation, I scored a 635 in GMAT Focus, which is equivalent to 690 in GMAT Classic. So I was very happy at the on that day. I also contacted you and thank you for your guidance, and also contacted Mitul for your guidance.
So the journey from 505 to 635 was a massive jump, and I clearly understand that your biggest challenge was the verbal section. It all depends on, your background, your profile. You had always struggled a little bit with the communication part. Now, taking that forward into the applications, when it came to the storytelling, I remember we conversed about how you had to write the stories about your experiences working at the company you were at. So maybe just again for context, tell the audience once again about the company that you were working in or the role that you had at Trident.
Okay, I have worked for Trident for majorly for 2 years, and there my role was only operational, and I was only used to manage people's and see the efficiencies of my final product. So this was my role. So I was a bit worried about my role that it is not suitable for an MBA profile because I have not done major projects, not guided many upper level teams. I was not more into a leadership role because of my role. But when Priyesh told me to write stories about my experiences, what I have done, so I have a lot of experience in Trident, like managing worker level teams and everything. So at that point, Priyesh told me that this is enough for the MBA profile, that you have managed teams and you have a good hold on your data, analysis part, as it was a part
Hmm.
of my as it was part of my efficiency programs, that I have to manipulate data or analyze data, how to do get more efficiency. So it was really good
So
help
you,
from
in my
Priyesh.
opinion, you had like actually done not just team management, you had a lot of innovation in terms of improving the efficiency from the machines and the people that you worked with, introducing new technology processes, the digital transformation of your company's workflow in the department you were in was something you were spearheading, I remember, and you didn't know how to say
Yes,
it then. You were, of course, just saying that I'm working on the beam and I'm working on the machine and I'm putting in data
yes,
in
sure.
SAP and I'm putting in some analysis behind how much we are wasting. But the way you are analyzing it, right, to talk about the skills that you have, whether it was the analysis of the data to ensure wastage is reduced or to make sure production is on target, was something that was part of your job, but you didn't know how to express it, which is what I think the whole story pooling brought out. Then moving on, right, like to put that in the essays, because when it came to the universities, you have to talk about the work that you did along with the goals that you had. So talk a little bit now about, how you connected the work with the goal that you have.
Yeah, it was a whole new experience for me because I don't know what kind of essays have, because I have never seen or never written or never read about any essay, how a MBA essay is framed, or actually I was having zero knowledge about it. So Priyesh helped me to how to connect your work experience to your goals. As my goal was to be a part of a consulting firm which integrates new techniques in the operational process. So it was my goal. After having a deep converse with Priyesh, I got to know that this is the thing I want to do, and this is the thing I enjoy the most. So, so my work experience was very apt for this, as Priyesh told me, because I was only doing my work and I haven't thought about like that. So after giving the stories about my beam scanning problems, about my by innovating by integrating new digital techniques to my operation field, so I got to know that this is the process I can work on large basis. So this was my goal, and I framed according to the different, according to uh, means according to the college's needs. I framed my goals, and Prayesh helped me to how to frame it and how to represent my goals in front of different universities. And it was whole about Prayesh given me a lot of time, as I was also running out of the time, and I have given my GMAT in on 9th December, and it was a problem as many colleges dates were around 4 to 5 Jan. So it also I am pretty sorry to Priyesh, because my essays was always finished at 1 to 2 days prior to the last date, I think so.
No,
And I
one
have
thing I
given a
liked
lot of
about
work
you,
to
Harinder,
Priyesh.
honestly, was that you wrote every essay by yourself. You could have gone to the chat GPT mode and written something which was not your original thought process. But I know that even though it was sometimes not in the perfect grammar or the right English, you stuck to your stories, you tried to connect the stories with the questions, and you always presented the original idea, right? Which is something, again, I think we discussed quite well. Now,
Yeah,
just
sure.
for again, for everybody to know, tell them where you applied, of course, and where you got your admits or interviews, and even the rejects, because they are part of the journey. So you can, if you want to just kind of talk a little bit about your where you applied and your admits and rejects.
Yeah, sure. And after giving GMAT, we had in the evening we had a 1 hour long meeting about the selections and about the selection of colleges to apply. So in that part, I was also naive because Prayas told me that about that your score is very good and about these colleges are very good about your profile. Like I have applied to Michigan State University, which is well known for a supply chain. I have applied to University of British Columbia, which is a sustainable, which provides many sustainable practices. And I have applied to Schulich. I have applied to Boston. So I have applied to SMU Cox Business School. So these were the schools which I have applied to after as Prayesh told me that your profile is heavily linked towards these colleges. So first of all, I got an interview call from UBC, from Southern School of Business.
Yeah.
So the at that time I was very tensed that how would my interview go? How means I was so depressed. So Prayesh told me that there is a link on the portal of LilacBuds where I can practice my interviews, virtual interviews with with different LilacBuds associates. So it helped me a lot to analyze the different questions, how to give answers, and what are the questions which the admission team puts. So I have given that interview. After 2 days, I got an interview call from Schulich School of Business, and that interview was great. And I also got an admit from Schulich School of Business, and I'm very happy for that. And I get a handsome scholarship also for the for to from Schulich School of Business. And I also got a rejections because rejections, as you said, is a part of the process. And you how you present, sometimes it's fumbled out, and sometimes you are not apt for that college. So it's a part of the process. I was also depressed about about the rejections, but you told me that it is a part of the process. So be cheerful, as I was rejected in Thoreau School of Business, and I got a reject from Boston. So I was pretty depressed at that time, but you cheered me that no, Schulich is very amazing college. It has various benefits. So I looked into that. You told me, you cheered me up, and now I'm very happy that I got a Schulich admit. And it is one of the most prestigious colleges in Canada. Number two college, no, ranked number two in different rankings of MBA. Yes, I'm very happy, and thank you for your assistance. Really.
That's wonderful. And I mean, we are very glad, right? And as I said, right, maybe if you had got into a Boston or maybe had you got into a Cox, you might have felt additional joy, but it would not have
Yes.
taken the joy that you already felt from the first admit that you got.
Yeah,
And,
sure.
the scholarship amount also is the icing on the cake that I think is very
Yes.
critical, right? Like when I look at the opportunity to study abroad for somebody with a background like yours, right, who comes from a very operations heavy shop floor type background and having such a
Yes.
large scholarship, I think it's a massive financial savings that you have. Along with that, an opportunity to, grow your career in the right location. We discussed, I remember, whether US, whether Canada, is there any concern at this point in time on the geopolitical scene as well? But if you're going to a
Got it. Got
top-ranked
it.
school, the worry is very limited. Yes, you have to, whether you go to the US or you go to Canada, one thing I'll tell every student, whether you get into the best ranked college or the average ranked college, you still have to work hard towards your goals. You still have to work hard towards your job readiness later on. You still have to work hard towards making sure that you land up on your feet post an MBA program. An MBA program gives you a pedestal, but after that, you still have to launch yourself into the goals that you have to. So
Sure.
that's something that's
Yes.
very critical that you should remember. And everybody who's listening to this video, in general, I would recommend that just getting into a top ranked program is never sufficient. You still have to work towards your goals. You still have to make sure that you prepare for future interviews your future employer will end up taking as well. All right. With
And
that, right, like through the whole process, I know you mentioned from essays to interviews, the whole 9 yards. If I'm somebody, let's say you are telling a future applicant now looking at this video, your top two tips or top ideas on what they should do while they are here and they haven't yet started the process, what would you tell them to do?
sure, sure. First, I would say that Lilac has helped me from the very start, from my GMAT, from my college selection, from my essays, from my every part. Lilac has helped me a lot. And even after admit, I was a bit worried about my visa consultancy and my accommodation. Then I consulted prayers that I am very worried about this, how this process will go. And Lilac again helped me and referred me some sources to from which I got help from my visa consultancy programs and also from my accommodation part of view. So thanks a lot for that also. And to the students who are looking to do an MBA from a very good college, it is aspiration. Having aspiration is great, but if you don't have a good strategy to find a way to go into that college or to how to study from, because every exam has its own strategy, how you attempt it, how are the questions. If you are just muffled up in the myriad of questions, then it is just a waste of time, because I was just going through that. I was doing lots and lot of questions. I only thought that hard work and practice is the only key to the success. Yes, hard work plays a very important role, but strategizing your every move is very important. Is a very important in this process. So Lilac helped me to strategize every move and every step in my process. So if a person is looking to do an MBA, he must consult consult to the services that will help him or her in every stage, that how to prepare and how the essays are framed and how what are the universities looking in you to be a good MBA applicant. So Lilac helped me a lot in this thing, that how what are the universities looking in me to be a good applicant student. So it was great working with Mr. Priyash and Lilac. So I must recommend that if these future students are listening to me, please get a help from an expert, Priyash. He is magnificent in comforting you, and even if you have a less knowledge about anything, don't feel shy. Be honest with him. He will help you a lot with your process.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the kind words, Harinder. But again, we wish you the very best. I think it was lovely working with you through the whole process, getting to know you a little bit better. In fact, getting to know how the operations shop floor at a large manufacturing firm like Trident also works. I got a lot of insights from the whole process as well. And love to continue, staying in touch as you move into Canada next
Sure,
year. I mean,
sure.
this year, not next year now, sorry, this year for starting your MBA program. And of course, as I said, anytime you need any other help between now and the time you land up in Canada, please feel free to reach out. All right.
Yeah,
Thank
sure.
you.
I will always be in touch with you. And whenever I get a chance to meet you, I will meet you soon in Mumbai. Maybe I will be visiting Mumbai, as I am a bit free now because of you. So I'll be visiting you personally and thanking you a lot.
Thank you so much for those. Thank you so much. I would love to meet you again. Okay.
Sure.
All right. Bye.
Bye bye, sir.